Hi, I'm Allison and welcome to my channel where we take a closer look at learning differences. In my last video about dyslexia, I mentioned that today's topic would be auditory processing disorder. What is auditory processing disorder? There is actually no agreed upon definition of what auditory processing disorder is, but there is an agreement on the following points. Auditory processing disorders, or APD, exist in some children, most with normal intelligence. There is a breakdown in receiving, remembering, understanding, and using auditory information. Hearing ability works adequately. The child's ability to listen is impaired, and there is a neurological basis. Interestingly enough, the Brain One Center website says that the condition can be caused by an out-of-sync arrival time of electrical impulses from the ears through the brainstem to higher cortical functions. The condition can be lifelong, so it's very important to be diagnosed early to minimize the long-term effects. With difficulty receiving, remembering, understanding, and using auditory information, simple conversations between peers, family, or teachers can be extremely difficult for those with auditory processing disorder. Some more specific symptoms include difficulty hearing speech in noisy environments, difficulty maintaining attention, problems locating the source of a sound, difficulty following directions, commonly asking for information to be repeated, inability to detect subtle changes in tone, and trouble understanding metaphors, puns, or jokes. The behavioral struggles of an APD child can often be mistaken for a child with ADD, which we will discuss further in the next video. Auditory processing disorder is diagnosed twice as often in boys than in girls, and 50% of children with dyslexia also have auditory processing disorder. With all this information, I think it's time to emphasize and dismiss the myths that surround this condition. Myth: APD is a hearing issue. APD is an issue with the way the brain processes sound, meaning a child can have APD but also have perfect hearing. Myth: APD only affects verbal and listening activities. Children with APD struggle with distinguishing similar sounds or words, which are a foundation for successful reading, writing, and spelling skills. Myth: students with APD are not smart. Audio processing issues and IQ are in fact not connected. Myth: those with APD are bad listeners. With a struggle to understand speech, those with APD often tune out of fast-paced conversations, but not because they are bad listeners. And finally, APD is not uncommon. It affects 5 to 7% of school-age children. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope this helped with your understanding of the condition, and make sure to check out my previous video on dyslexia and my next video on ADHD. Thank you!